Thank you, Laura. No, it was not you. I was muted. Somehow I must have tapped mute. I'm glad you told me. Hi, everybody. How's about I do this again? Uh, you'd think it was my first time. What up, y'all? I'm Adrian Santiago. This is Books by Adrian. I write sci fi fantasy novels. Um, Here it is. Mythic Shadow of the Spark. The Mythic series is a sci fi fantasy series. Shadow of the Spark is the first book in that series. It is a thriller set in that world. Book two is going to be more of an epic sci fi fantasy adventure. Um, get the short story prologue, The Death and Rebirth of Bella Erdman. Get it for free when you sign up for my newsletter. Website is on the screen below. Um, Hi, Laura. How are you? It's good to see you. Excuse me. So, talking about query letters today, the hunt for literary agents, and the rite of passage that is rejections. We'll be talking about all of that. Feel free to ask me anything, absolutely anything in the chat, whether you are on YouTube or Twitch. I will see it. Go ahead and leave me a question about anything, about query letters, about literary agents, about going traditionally published, about my books, about God. I don't care, whatever. Ask me stuff. Hmm. Also, let me know if the music is too loud because I just didn't want dead air behind me. Um, but I don't want it to be overwhelming. Excuse me. So I have been querying, which is a hard word to say, for almost 2 months now, I think. And I have sent out over 40 ish query letters. Um, I'm going to send about 10 more. I always had set that goal of 50. Um, at this point, it is sort of not going through the motions, but just doing my part to maintain the process of sending out letters. Um, since I've only gotten two responses so far, and they were both rejection, but out of 40 some odd letters, two is not very many. So we still have a long way to go, right? Um, Excuse me. But it's not just that makes me feel like it's going through the motions, but rather I found my dude. I know who I want. Um, Out of all the query letters I sent, there's one that I'm like, this is my guy, and he may not know yet that he's my guy, but he's my guy. And hopefully, he's reading my pages right now and slowly coming to the realization that he is my guy. I can only hope. But he's my guy. And this is what's going to happen. He's going to send me an email requesting more to read, and I'm going to send it to him. And then he's going to call me, and he's going to be like, "Hey, man, I have an offer for you." That's what's going to happen. So at this point, I'm just waiting for that to happen. You know, waiting patiently for that email, checking every day. Yeah. So I've claimed it. It's mine. Right on. Quick writing update. First and foremost, Mythic Shadow of the Spark, sci-fi fantasy thriller. Migdalia, Lear, and Faye must team up to defeat a prolific serial killer with shadow magic powers. They each sacrifice everything to succeed, left with only each other. Uh, Check it out. It's for adults. It's got the occasional spicy scene in it. Um, but it's awesome. Go check it out. I am currently writing book two, Mythic, The Face of Gaia. Um, Last time I said I was about 20% through, and I was lying. It was really more like 18. I was rounding up. This time I am actually at 20%. I have written something like 26, 27,000 words. I have completed the first part of five for this book. I have begun part two, and part two begins with a whole new point of view character that I've never written for before. So that's been a lot of fun. Been a whole lot of fun. Right. So, what else? Query letter writing has been an interesting process. Um, I have a list of agents that I continue to adjust, taking some off after I send letters, putting new ones on when I find them. Um, Here's what I look for when I'm looking for a new agent. I'm to query. I am looking for uh, somebody who publishes in my genre or genres, more accurate. Someone who is friendly with LGBTQ characters and BIPOC characters. Someone who is passionate about putting those sorts of stories out in the world. Who is the agent I want, or is that a secret? Good question, Laura. Yeah, I can put it out on the universe. His name is John Baker, and he's the guy I want. In fact, let's look him up. I have him saved in here somewhere. There he is. All right, we'll share that screen. Give me one sec. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to his website though. There we go. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and introduce you to my future literary agent, who doesn't know he's my literary agent, but he will. Okay, so boom, and nope, other way. There we go. All right, Laura, this is John Baker, and he is a literary agent for Bell Lomax Morton, and I'm very, very impressed with his catalog. He represents all of these authors, and you will notice there is diversity among them. Lots of different folks from lots of different strokes and locations and aesthetics. And something tells me that this is my guy. He does science fiction, and he's very excited about it coming back. He does weird stuff, which works for me. Action adventure, which works for me. He does some romantasy, which, romance subplots in mine. Sure. He does adult fantasy, which again is me. And as far as his wants and likes and dislikes and all that kind of stuff, he's on point, man. He's I didn't realize that the banner was up. He is my guy. He's the guy I want, and I'm just waiting to hear back from him. Boom, boom. All right. So yeah, I've claimed it in the name of Spain or whatever. I like that he specifies weird stuff too. Um, yeah, yeah. He's he strikes me as somebody who has his finger on the pulse, but also is up for taking risks. Right? Calculated risks. So I'm looking forward to hearing from him. I'm looking very forward to hearing back from him. And according to the law of attraction, it should be any minute now. um, yeah, lately I'm just realizing that my new glasses match my streaming aesthetic. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they're teal on the inside, they're blue on the edges, and then black on the front. But there's that little splash of color on the side. Nobody cares about my glasses. I just like them. I've never had a pair of like designer glasses before. These are Calvin Klein's. Teal is taking over your life. Teal's a nice color. I like it a lot. Excuse me. I apologize for the coughs. Got a cough to get off. Know what I mean? All right. Excuse me. Let's switch up the background music and go with this one. I hate that the title to this track is soft hip hop. There is nothing hip hop about it. It pisses me off. Um, I gotta say, I am quite pleased with the streaming so far. The last couple times that I have streamed, I have had some trouble where my camera just suddenly freezes up and clocks out on me. I don't know what that's about, but so far so good. Knock on wood, and hopefully it stays that way. If this is the case, if I don't continue to have any more problems with it, this may be the streaming service that I settle on pretty soon so that I can get rid of that ugly thing. Right on. Okay, so the hunt for the agent is ongoing. Writing is ongoing. Like I said, I started part 2 of 5 this week, a couple days ago. Writing a POV for a new character, somebody I've never written for before, so that's fun. Actually, this entire part, all of part 2, is told from the perspective of some new characters. I'm doing something kind of fun where part 1 of this new novel, we're following Migdalia, Lear, and Faye, 3 characters that we ended up with at the end of book 1. And we'll be following them as to like where they are now, how far they've come, what's next for them, what's their quest. And I'm going to take them up right up to like their first like major like setback. And that's part 1. And then part 2, I'm going to shift over to the point of view characters being everyone else in this world that is not Migdalia, Faye, and Lear. And they're going to be looking at our main characters and experiencing them as aliens, first contact, kind of stuff. So it's a fun novel because while the setting is more fantasy than book 1 was, the plot is far more sci-fi than book 1 was, because the plot is essentially alien first contact, but the aliens are us, and the creatures that we would call aliens are the natives. So it's a Uno reverse card for that genre. So that's fun. That's fun. I'll play with that. Right on. What else? So that's cool. I've got a bunch of new characters that I am writing for this, and then in part 3 and onward, it's going to be a mix of everybody, obviously, including our main characters. But that's, I don't know. That I think that's going to be fun, and something that I haven't necessarily seen a bunch before. It's funny because you see. You watch or read sci-fi books where humans get in spaceships and travel the galaxy and stuff, And a lot of times they run into aliens that look exactly like us, which is boring. And then other times you have your Star Wars and your Star Treks, right, where there are a plethora of alien races, and they understand that there are a plethora of alien races, and so it's this like melting pot kind of situation. Um, but this is more like like when you watched what's that what's that Keanu Reeves movie where he's an alien? I forget what it's called. Um, but that whole like first contact scenario, right, where you are a local on this planet, and all of a sudden here is a being from another world, and they have all these things to tell you and to show you, and you have things to tell and show them, and there is this exchange going on, and it's thrilling and scary. um, I want to do that, but the humans are the alien that is showing up and doing the things. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be pretty fun, especially in this like fantasy setting, right? Where the locals are these fantasy creatures, and there's magic, and there's these other kinds of technology that they have, this sort of magic technology. Um, so it's going to be interesting to watch. Like for example, Migdalia, who has her death specs from book one, which gives her these, you know, almost superhuman detective skills, right? Uh, Faye obviously has her magic, which comes from the planet that they're on. So she's the bridge between the humans and the locals. And then Lear, who's this like people reader, right? Like he reads physicality um, and body language and that kind of thing. And so you have these three alien humans that can interact with this world in a way that maybe other humans wouldn't. And so maybe these humans showing up and interacting in this way would seem very amazing. I don't know. I'm having fun writing it. It's going to be a fun book. A lot of weird stuff happens in it. Uh, if you liked book one, and you enjoyed the supernatural elements of the killer, for example, there is a new monster baddie to hunt down. Um, Very different from book one. He's not a shadow wielding, you know, magic user, but it is a monster supernatural kind of situation. Um, there's also, the bigger players like you saw in book one, except in book one they were like politicians. In book two it's going to be kingdoms and monarchs and emperors, right? Lords and ladies, except I don't call them lords and ladies, but that's you'll figure that out when you read. What else? Obviously the main characters returning. Now here's the tricky part. The secondary characters that you know and love from book one are not in book two. However, they are in the shorter books that I will be releasing before book two. And those shorter books, one is a novella, one is a short story collection. Those two smaller books will hopefully satiate your desire to spend some time with those characters, and also make promises to their return, those survive. Um, and so they'll be back in book three. Uh, because the first book and the second book are doing a lot to like set up our world. So book one sets up the spark in a very big way. We spend all of our time on the spark, with the exception of one or two chapters that we spend on Gaia. And then book two is the inverse. We spend most of our time on Gaia. At right now, I honestly can't even think of a scene that takes place on the spark. No, there's one. There's one scene that takes place on the spark. At least one scene. I haven't read the whole book yet. I've written a zero draft, so I know at least one scene slash chapter. will be on the spark. But yeah, that's the inverse, right? So now we're on the planet, and so those secondary characters are not physically there. But in book three, it will be a very even split 50-50, both locations. So we're going to get everybody to the party in book three. Book three might be a big one. Um, so yeah, good stuff there. That was a bit of a tangent. I don't remember where I was going with most of that. But I'm having fun writing book two, man. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be good. And I think that the potential for, you know, traditionally published route is there. The potential for sales is there. I don't know. I just feel really strongly that I can do that. You know. Um, yeah. There's more than one person in this world who have read my book three times now. There are at least three people that I can think of off the top of my head who have read my book three times. And that is significant to me. That you don't read a shitty book three times in a row. Not in a row, but you don't read a shitty book three times. Um, you know, it tells me that I have potential. And while the while there is a badge of honor in being an indie author, a self-published author, I do it all myself kind of deal. There's a different badge of honor in this company that's in the business of making money is taking a risk on me because they think that I got what it takes. There's a badge of honor in that, you know. So, uh, hey man, in the meantime, I'm still an indie author, right? My book's on Amazon. Go get it. And I didn't get any query letter questions, but I also only had Laura in the chat. Thanks for coming by, Laura. Uh, I'm gonna stay up for. I mean, I'm gonna stay on for another few minutes, but um, in case people start showing up. But just the idea that I've been sending out these query letters. I've been sharing pages of book two, which is big for me. Uh, and I've done a little bit of like alpha readers, critique partner stuff, sharing those pages, but sending them to a literary agent, like I don't know, like that's seems big, you know, because they're not like professionally edited or anything. We're talking about first draft stuff, so I don't know. Then again, my first drafts read like a second draft, I think, and I mean that's mostly because I have a draft zero, but and also because I edit things I wrote too much. I don't follow my own advice with that one because I tell people religiously not to do that, but I do it. Yeah. Let's switch up the music. Let's go back to tech now. So, what's next? Well, I still have a good 10 letters or so to send out. I'm still writing, obviously. Um, as I do so, I continue to refine those early chapters because I'm sending those out to lit agents. And obviously, you want to put your best foot forward where that's concerned. Um, so I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to refine things a little bit on those early chapters. Uh, I would not be quite so confident about query letters and sharing these pages if I didn't have a zero draft, um, because I know it's not a draft one, but it's something. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're like, "What is this? What can you show me?" I'm like, "I can show you the entire book. It's not anywhere near publishable yet, but this is it's got a beginning, middle, and end. I can tell you the entire story. Well, I'll stay here and tell you the story." So I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be cool. I think any day now, John Baker's gonna ring my phone and change my life. Um, in the meantime, I'm gonna keep writing. I'm gonna keep getting better at it. Right now, I'm writing a scene where her name's Yejun, and she is a local tavern owner, but she started out as a brewmaster. She brews, and she's very successful at it. So she has several taverns that she owns, and she's at one of them when the displaced citizens of a burned down village, a village that was attacked by a monster. These citizens injured and in need of help show up at this tavern slash inn, and she and her staff, you know, jump into action, taking care of these folks as best as they can. She takes a huge risk and reveals a partner in crime that she has hidden in her tavern, who is a wielder of the magic system. I won't use what he, I won't use the word yet, but a wielder of the magic system, and specifically a healer in that. And so she brings him out, and he's not supposed to be out. He's not, and so they're taking a huge risk, but it's because they need to help these people. And while all this is going on, Migdalia, Faye, and Lear appear and make first contact with the people of planet Gaia, and Faye, being Faye, of course, jumps in to help where she can with her magic, which is pretty wild stuff. Even for these magic wielders, when they see what she can do, they're like, so it's a really dynamic scene. There's a lot going on, all kinds of new characters. There's five named new characters in this scene, but three of them are ongoing characters that will follow going forward. And it's just really exciting to be at that place in the writing of this new book, in this place where I'm running into lots of new characters and locations that could not exist in book one, and seeing magic that we didn't know existed in book one. I think you guys are gonna like book two. I'm trying to write it as quickly as I can. I'm writing every night. I'm working overnight every day this week. I'm writing every night. I'm averaging about 2,000 words a night this week, and I'm trying to get it done because I can't wait to put it in front of you guys. It's gonna be so good. As much as Shadow of the Spark was my baby for so long. This is my new baby. Like, I'm crafting something very different with this one, and in a different way too. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. There's parts. There's 5 parts, and between these 5 parts, there are 4 interludes, not counting the prologue or the epilogue. So these interludes will showcase some villains, the story from their side of things. This world is a big world, and the villains are not standing next to our heroes most of the time. And so these interludes give us a window into their society and their goals and desires, and because they have their own sets of chapters in these interludes, it creates this situation where you don't really think of them as the villains. You just think of them as more characters, more point of view characters that you're following. You're going to root for some of them, hopefully, if I do my job right. And so when they finally clash with the main story and our main characters, sorry, when that finally happens, it is my intention to have some conflicted readers, not knowing who to root for, or rooting for both sides at once. There are multiple sides, so not even both sides, but like, yeah, man. I think it's gonna be cool. Mythic: The Face of Gaia is at 20%. Go check out Mythic: Shadow of the Spark. You can read the prologue, a short story called The Death and Rebirth of Bella Erdman, for free by signing up to my newsletter at the website on the scroll below. Shadow of the Spark is available wide. It is an adult title. There are adult themes, adult scenes in here. There is drug use, if that is a turnoff for you. There is I try to depict it as a real world. There's gnarly stuff in here, so read at your own risk, but I think you'll like it because I made it fun. Look how much fun it is. Look at this. Look at that, y'all. Are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Gorgeous. All right, y'all. Thank you for. Oh, hey, Ava. You showed up just in time for me to kind of say goodbye. I mean, I don't have to leave. I was just, Hi, how are you? Wait, that's not Ava. That's Ava. Hey. I like the animation to this thing, but I feel like it's a little slow. Like watch when I shift it over. Like look how long it takes for that to happen. It shouldn't take that long. It should I like the animation. I wanted to keep that, but just kind of make it snappy, nappy. What's up, Ava? I was talking today about query letters and my second novel that I'm working on, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Feel free to ask anything. I'll stick around for another few minutes before heading out. Feel free to ask anything about all of that. I've been getting my first rejection letters coming in, so that's been fun. I've had 2 so far. Very polite rejection letters. I do wish that they had more detail as to reading is so subjective, and agents are looking for a book that excites them. I get that, you know what I mean? It needs to be, it's an organic thing. It just has to kind of happen for them. And So I get it, but on the other hand, I just wish they could be like, well, it's not this enough, or it's not that enough, or I wish that it had more of this, or it didn't have enough of that, or whatever. Like, give me something. Um, but for the most, the two rejections that I have gotten have been very, thank you, but not for me, and that's fine. I that's fine. I just want more detail. Uh, you know, I would like to grow in that area and put my best foot forward. But I was telling Laura earlier that ultimately it doesn't really matter because I've claimed the one that I want, and I know that that's going to be my guy, and he may not know it yet, but he's my guy. So I'm just waiting to hear from him. Uh, you know, if if my meditations and manifestations have worked, he is currently reading it, and his brain is being blown. uh, I don't know, maybe. Probably not. No, yes, he is. He is. All right, you guys are getting a window into how crazy Adrian is. Um, because this is my life, man. My life is a series of having a negative thought and then immediately combating it with a positive one to try to like adjust fate. If you get him, you need to write a non-fic about manifestation. Hey, if I get when I get him, when I get him, uh, he will only be the first part of like a confirmation of it working. You know, I'm trying to manifest a lot of stuff right now. And I am by no means an expert. I am a beginner in this whole manifesting stuff journey. But I've been reading, and I've been putting the things that I read into practice far more diligently and wholeheartedly than I ever have done anything before. So I really am hoping. Um, so Laura, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear it again, because you were here and Ava wasn't, but now Ava is, and I'm gonna tell her. Yeah, Adrian's dream agent. I still have the website pulled up, so I'm just going to share the screen again. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, there it is. New system. I'm still learning it. All right. So this is John Baker. I'm going to take you off the screen for a second. He is a literary agent working for Bell Lomax Morton. I was showing her around here. He does adult fantasy, which obviously that's what I do. He does romantasy, which I have romantic subplots in my books. So he does horror. I don't really write horror, but there are horror elements, you might say. He does science fiction, obviously. That's all me. And as we were talking about earlier, he's also into weird stuff. So I'm really hoping that weird stuff applies in my situation. Action and adventure. He's looking for really cool stuff. He's not looking for anything biblical. I'm not doing anything biblical. Purgatory, heaven, hell. I'm not doing any of that. So. The right comedic fantasy has yet to hit his inbox, but please don't comp Douglas Adams or Sir Terry. He's so funny. I have comedic elements to my sci-fi fantasy, and if he resonates with my sense of humor, this could be a positive. Anyway, this is his clientele, and I was just showcasing them a little bit because they are part of the reason why he's my guy, and it's the look at the diversity in this group of people. I'm seeing different colors. I am seeing different shapes and sizes. I am seeing different genders. I am seeing different, I'm seeing LGBTQ folks. I am seeing clearly academic folks. I am seeing some goth folks. I'm seeing all walks of life here, and that's that's what I want. I want a dude who's open, who is accepting and welcoming to these authors, and I want to be among them. Look at that. There's 2 spots at the bottom. One of those is mine. Um, that's that's where I'm going. So this is my guy, John Baker. Like I said, he may not know it yet, but he's my guy. And he's going to email me any day now, asking for more to read, and I'm going to send it to him, and then he's going to call and make me an offer. Such is the way of it. And so it is. 100% sure the agent you get will be your dream agent. Your spot is closer to the top. But yes. Was it alphabetical by first name? I didn't notice. That's very nice, thank you. So yeah, like I'm doing my thing. I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm writing like crazy. I'm writing like a mofo. I was telling Laura earlier that I'm writing part 2 of 5 of the new book, and it's this particular part 2 is all through the point of view of other characters other than Migdalia, Faye, and Lear. They don't have POVs until the very end of this part of the book, and so you're getting to be in the heads of Gaian characters and experience the arrival of the humans through their eyes. And so it's so much fun. It's been so much fun to write. Yes, I'm writing. So happy to be writing again. And I'm still it still feels a little bit like pushing a boulder up a hill right now. You know how like when you've been in a writing slump or in a depression or in writer's blocky kind of area, getting started again can sometimes be a little, you're kind of treading water, it feels like. But I'm gaining momentum, Last night I had my best night yet. I got 2,000 words down, so I'm happy. It's moving. All right, y'all. I woke up at 2. I've been working overnight all week. I have tonight and tomorrow as my last 2 shifts of the week. And I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm feeling kind of hunger pangs. So I'm going to bid you guys adieu. I'm still coming out of a slumpy, funky pit of I haven't written much, but I'm starting to get to the shoreline where I fall into the sludge every day, but also get out of it every day. Glad I caught you. I had notifications set and almost missed it anyway. Yeah, I don't know that those notifications really work the way that they're supposed to, but I'm glad that you made it. I'm glad that you made it, and feel free to rewind and see what we talked about, because we talked about quite a bit. I talked quite a bit. It was mostly just me talking. But yeah, the hunt continues. But I've set my target, and I'm working towards that goal. And I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to work out. And I'm excited. I'm excited because once that agent gets the ball rolling on certain things, it's going to be so easy. It's going to be much easier for me to increase my output. Once I'm just writing and I don't have to if I can sell this to a publisher and get an advance, even the smallest advance of, I don't know, 10K, right? That will at least buy me 5 months of not needing to work, where I can write 6 to 8 hours a day, get everything I need done in those 5 months. Something that would have normally taken me 2 to 3 years to do, I can do it 5 months, and then it's off to the races. Once I have that cache of books ready to go, and I can start slinging them out in an orderly fashion at a consistent pace, everything will work out. I just got to get there. And this is my way to get there. I'll see you guys there. Thanks again. I will.